Hey everyone, my name's Alice and I am the Head of Careers at Manchester Codes, and I'm joined today by Ryan, and we're going to be talking to you all about the Thoughtworks University. Ryan is going to put on a presentation. We'll have time for a Q&A at the end, so if you do have any questions during the event, please feel free to ask any of those. If you have anything you'd like to find out a little bit more about, just feel free to ask those questions and we'll go through those at the end. But Ryan, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Alice. And thank you to Manchester Codes for having me this afternoon. Just going to sort of take half an hour really to talk you through Thoughtworks, as Alice mentioned there, Thoughtworks University, what exactly that is and what a career at Thoughtworks might look like. And thank you to all of you for giving up your lunchtime to listen to me as well. So I'll just introduce myself. So I'm Ryan Cookson. I am the graduate recruiter. So I'll go into this in the presentation, but I hire for just all of the graduate roles within the UK. And this year, things have changed a little bit with that graduate program and what it looks like. But we're doing 6 intakes of 6. So pretty much every other month, we're going to have a cohort starting with Thoughtworks University. So it's quite exciting. It's going to be really, really busy. But yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, we are a global software consultancy. Put very simply, we solve complex problems with technology. We've got over 10,000 employees now worldwide. We've been going for about 27 years. We've got 48 offices, and 3 of those offices are in the UK. So we've for a few years now, we've had London and Manchester, and we are also opening up a new office in Newcastle. It's probably going to be middle of this year. There is going to be a new office which is opening up there, so that's really exciting. I'm excited to get up there myself and have a look at it. So yeah, that is us in a nutshell. What our purpose is, we want to create extraordinary impact on the world through our culture and technology. We have various values which we think kind of sum Thoughtworks up, and we've crafted over quite a long time. But if you look at these 5 points here, this is how I guess we define ourselves. We want to be an awesome partner for clients and their ambitious missions. And this is the part of Thoughtworks where a client will come to us with a problem, and it can be any software or tech related problem, and it's up to us to solve that, come up with the ideas. So that's really cool. We want to revolutionize the technology industry. We want to amplify positive social change and advocate for an equitable tech future. Now, this one is, I guess, if I personally was to sum up Thoughtworks, I would choose this one. This is like what I really kind of notice within the business. The social change side of things, if you go ahead and check out our website after this and look at the social change side of things a bit more, that is very much at the heart of Thoughtworks. That is what we're all about. It's kind of where we've come from, and it's the part of the business that we want to keep at our core as we move forward and we grow. Over the years, we've made like a social change lab in each region, and what that means is that we work with we work like pro bono in mostly charities or in the third sector, because we want to try and use technology, leverage our skills and technology for positive social change. So yeah, that's really interesting. And we want to foster a vibrant community of diverse and passionate technologists. Now, again, I guess secondary to the social change thing, I'd probably say this is the one that resonates with me the most, and one that I'm quite proud to say, like, we, as a recruiter, like, I can have a big part in showing that tech is for everybody. Um, like, historically, it's been very male dominated, and we want to challenge that status quo. We've got, as of right now, globally with Thoughtworks, I think the stat is that it sits at 40% women and underrepresented gender minority. Within 5 years, we want that to be at 50%. And that's the type of future that we're trying to work towards. And of course, we want to achieve enduring commercial success and sustained growth, as any business does. But we want to grow, but we want to do it in the right way, with the right, the right values and the right mindset. So I guess at the heart of Thoughtworks, and at the heart of every thought worker, I'd like to think that these 5 kind of pillars are, are kind of, at the core, really. So yeah, this is just a slide to kind of back up like what we're doing when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We believe that we have the power to create transformative social change, and this is why we aim to include all of society, both in our community and throughout the tech world. That is something that we're really, really aiming for. And as I just say, it is at the core of Thoughtworks. As it says there, we absolutely reject discrimination, and that is, at the core of the business, for sure. So we excel in custom software delivery. I know this slide looks a little bit like sort of tech word bingo, with like data, cloud, and all that sort of stuff. But the reason for this is to show you that we do all sorts of things when it comes to the world of tech. We're creating specialist service lines to service our clients in these areas. When it comes to data, cloud, AI, machine learning, we are very much at the forefront of this. Our roots are in custom software delivery, and that is, it's basically our clients sort of demand from us that we come up with the solutions for their problems. That is what we do as a consultancy. So as a result of that, we have to be on the forefront of technology. We have to adopt cutting edge technology in order to deliver those solutions. And this is backed up by essentially the books that we've written. We've got hundreds of books which have been written by thought workers over the past 27 years. And this is kind of, how we want to spread thought leadership. ThoughtWorks is very much rooted in a culture of learning and sharing. And we believe that knowledge should be accessible to all, no matter what your background is. So, we commit a lot to open source technology, and hopefully that will continue improving the tech industry. There's a few sort of links here that I would, some of them are more sort of client based, but one that I think is good for just anybody in this industry really is Technology Radar. So that is released twice a year, and that just shows, we do a lot of research into what are these emerging technologies, where should we be sort of focusing our efforts, what should we be learning about. So if you haven't already, I really would recommend just Googling Technology Radar, and you can sign up to that. And I say it's free, it's open source, and that will get sent to you, and that will kind of show you, those emerging technologies basically. So what will a career at Thoughtworks mean to you? It's kind of like falls in line with what I've been saying about, how we're at the forefront of tech. Like our clients demand that from us. But for you as an individual, what that's going to mean is that you have the opportunity to learn new skills and gain experience in other areas. Everyone at Thoughtworks gets a personal development budget each year to spend on the areas they want to improve and learn about. So say you joined us as a graduate or consultant graduate developer. That doesn't mean that you're going to be a developer for the rest of your career, or your career in tech, but definitely not your rest of your career at Thoughtworks. You can move around, you can experience new things, and you can learn new things. And we will empower you, as many other companies. I'd like to think many other companies would in the tech industry. You're the one with the ideas and the solutions. So, we want to hear those ideas, and so do our clients. So yeah, we will empower you to do that, basically. I'm sure what you find being technologists yourselves is that technology breeds innovation and encourages people to think of new things. So basically what we find here at Thoughtworks is that fosters an optimistic and just quite an enjoyable working environment. Don't get me wrong, like what we do is serious. For our clients, we build top quality software, but it's done as a team. It's always done as a team, and it's done, in the right way. And that's the culture that we want to develop here. And finally, again, this goes for not just Thoughtworks, but all of technology. I would think, you have the ability to work anywhere in the world. And you might start your career in the UK, but there are options to move elsewhere if that's like a personal goal of yours. You can do that. You saw on one of the first slides that we have offices everywhere, and I like to think that's quite a good thing about tech, is that it's global, and you can move where you want to, really. So yeah, Thoughtworks specifically might be a good fit for you if you enjoy variety and learning new things, if you like being challenged, if you're passionate and intrigued about technology, if you enjoy problem solving. I think if I speak to any developer or graduate developer that I work with, that's kind of the main thing that gets pulled out is, they just love problem solving. It might be like one of the developers sort of said to me the other day, it's like, there's one big problem, and then that problem is broken down into several smaller problems, and then you'll work in teams or pairs to sort out those smaller problems, which then all come together at the end to make one big solution. So yeah, if you love that, that's that's going to be for you. And finally, if you care about social and economic justice, Thoughtworks is definitely the right sort of place. I'd like to think that kind of resonates with a lot of other tech businesses as well, which I think it does. But yeah, specifically at Thoughtworks, like what I find with everyone I speak to is that, like, our social change projects, for instance, as a developer or as a business analyst or whatever it is that your role is, people want to get involved with that. And I guess in some instances that's all. If they had the choice to only do that, that's all they would do. But yeah, it's really, really cool, and yeah, people just love getting involved, basically. So just talk a little bit about the graduate recruitment process. Now, these are the different interview processes. I think the key thing here, which is what I really love about Thoughtworks as a recruiter, is that this is a consistent process globally. So it means that we try to limit unconscious bias that could come into the interview process at any point. And consistency, I personally think, is key to that. So it means that no matter where you're based in the world, you could be in Chile or China, the process is the same. You're going to be asked the same questions and sort of taken through the same route, really. So first of all, you'd probably speak to me. not an interview, but just a chat to see like what it is that you want, and is Thoughtworks going to be the right place for you. Then we do a take-home assignment, testing your technical knowledge. And you do a pairing interview with one of our thought workers. And then that's the tech stuff kind of over and done with. And then the final 2 stages is one of them, personally, my favorite stage, or at least it was when I did my interviews here, is the cultural alignment interview. Honestly, this should be just called cultural alignment chat, because that's all it feels like. It really is so down to earth. You get to meet different thought workers that you might not work with on a daily basis. Like you could be working with someone, interviewing with someone in like human resources, or part of the IT team or something like that. And really it's just a 30-minute conversation to discuss your social change alignment, your collaboration, your cultivation skills, how you work with others. And yeah, I'll be honest, it's actually just quite nice to just have like a down-to-earth conversation. I've not really experienced anything like that with other places that I've interviewed, so that was quite cool. And then finally, presentation session. You'd have 15 minutes to present on a specific topic. Well, as I said there, you work as part of a team to achieve a shared outcome, and that can just be any example that you have on that. And that's, as I say, yeah, it's just to test sort of like your team work and how you work with others. So yeah, finally onto Thoughtworks University. So it's not an actual university. It's just it is a fancy title, but it is really cool. And basically, if you were to join us as a graduate developer, or any graduate role, sorry, so it could be a business analyst, it could be a quality analyst, or an experience designer, everyone would go through Thoughtworks University. It's changed a little bit. Like pre-pandemic, what we were able to do was send you out to, if you were based in the UK, it would be either India or China for 5 weeks. So you could have that immersive experience. Basically, you'd meet loads of other graduates from all of the different regions. So it's 5 weeks of learning. That is both the tech skills and the soft skills. But I think more than that, it's just an amazing experience. And this is something which I really hope that we can get back to. When at some point, like we don't know when that will be. It might turn into more of a regional kind of thing. Essentially, we are still running it remotely. We have been running it remotely during the pandemic with 3 regions. So we would fit into the Europe region, and that's where it's done through Zoom. And you would be with in Italy, Spain, Germany, Romania, and you'd meet others from that region. So it might get back to more of a regional thing where you can go and spend like 4 weeks in Spain or something like that. But we'll definitely see. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. As I said before, we're doing 6 terms this year. So there's loads of different options throughout the year to join us, like depending on when you're ready. In 2021, our attendance for Thoughtworks University was at 55% for women and underrepresented gender minorities, which is really good. And yeah, over 3,600 attendees to date since it began in 2005. So it's just been incredible and given people an amazing experience. Like, if you're from a particular cohort, it's like a graduation number. Like, everyone still speaks and says, oh yeah, remember Thoughtworks University 55 or whatever it might be. So yeah, really cool. And basically this is just kind of what I've said before, really, about what role you can start your career in. A lot of people think tech is just software development, but we've got loads of other roles like graduate XD, quality analyst, business analyst, and in the future, as these specialisms become more and more, we start using them more and we start developing those service lines, we might open it up to be like graduate data scientist, or data engineer or cloud engineer, something like that. Basically, that's going to develop as we move forward. So yeah, in a nutshell, there's just loads and loads of different opportunities that you can have. So yeah, that's all from me today. I'm more than happy to take some questions and have a chat. But just thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan. That was great.
No
I think we'll
problem.
definitely get some questions through. One that I got sent over, which hopefully you'll be able to answer, is what do you look for on a person's CV when you're sort of doing CV reviews? Is there sort of specific things that you're looking for, or like projects on their GitHub? Or
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say for like, say if it was a software developer, then there's 4 main coding languages that we use. So Java, JavaScript, Python, and C#. So I'd probably look for at least one of them. That good foundation level knowledge of at least one of those programming languages is needed to kind of get you through the process. So say if you feel quite proficient in Java, I would look for that on your CV. And then look for like where you've used that in projects. It can be personal projects, it can be team projects. It doesn't matter if you've done a boot camp, or it doesn't matter if you've been to university. Like, I would just look for, you to kind of expand on that, rather than just saying, okay, I've got 3 years experience with Java, or 1 year's experience, whatever it might be. I would just look for you to kind of back it up with what projects have you done. And then, yeah, if you have a GitHub profile, like, absolutely, it's good to put on your CV. Might be something that like a techie would look at. Like, I'm definitely not a techie.
no,
I kind of
I know when
understand
I
it,
try
but
and look at a GitHub, I'm like, well,
yeah,
my mind's gone.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, as a recruiter, I like to see it. Like, if
Mhm.
somebody's active on GitHub, like, I'll know that they've got, like, they're doing the right sort of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to think, like, one of the techies who would interview you at the pairing assessment, they would probably look at that and
Great.
see what that's like.
Cool. Another question was what the salary was for this role.
Yeah, sure. So if it's in London, it's 35,000 as a starting salary. If it's in Manchester or Newcastle, it's 32,000.
Okay, great, cool, thank you. Cool, I've had a question. I want to know about an international student who's currently settled in the UK to pursue a career in tech. What about their education evaluation? So I don't know whether that would mean that they would need sponsorship potentially, or whether you offer sponsorship for this role.
So we can't offer sponsorship right from the start, but it's really good. The government have opened up a route for international students to stay in the country via the graduate visa. So the way I understand it is that when you're a student, you're on a tier 4 visa, and that gives you the right to work in the UK for up to a year, I think, after you graduate. We can't hire you under that tier 4 visa, but if you get the graduate visa from the government, that gives you the ability to work in the UK for up to 2 years. So we could hire you for 2 years, and then after that 2-year point, we would sponsor. So yeah, that's only a very recent thing. Before that, it was extremely difficult to hire somebody under a tier 4 visa, because I think a lot of companies are in the same sort of boat, really, where it's hard to offer sponsorship to a graduate, basically.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Nice one, thank you. And in terms of location, what's your sort of like working pattern at the moment? Are you hybrid? Are you guys still remote, or what's your plan with that?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. I probably should have covered that in the presentation. So thank you to whoever asked that question. So basically, yeah, we've since the pandemic, we've implemented like a hybrid working pattern. I mean, things have changed massively, because now some of our clients, like, they might not ever go back to what it was before, where you would be required on site for 5 days a week. I will be upfront, like, the lifestyle pre-pandemic was, if you're a consultant, sometimes you might be traveling, you might be staying over. But we're realistic in that things have changed a lot. So what I would usually say in this situation is, if your office on paper is Manchester, for instance, we would usually say, if you lived within commuting distance to Manchester, that would be great. You wouldn't be required to go in every day. But basically what that means is that if you end up working with a client in Manchester, or I should say, if you end up working with a client outside of Manchester or outside of your commuting radius, and you have to travel there and say you have to stay over, all of those expenses are paid. If you end up working with a client in Manchester and it's within commuting distance, then you can commute there and go back, and you don't have to stay over anywhere, basically. So yeah, the hybrid working model is 3 days a week. You may be required to be on site for 3 days a week. The other 2 days a week, you can decide to go into your local office, or you can work from home. But even then, that is, you might not even be required to go on site for those 3 days a week, because our clients have kind of shifted in what they're looking for, basically.
Cool. So it's sort of dependent on the project then.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right, nice one. Thank you. So V has asked a couple of questions. So said, "Hi Ryan, thanks for the chat. First question.
No problem.
Any common patterns in unsuccessful candidates that you've noted? E.g., what should they avoid?" That's a good question, V.
Oh yeah, that is a great question.
You need to think of something now without being too mean, don't you?
Well, the thing is, like, working in tech, it's quite good, really, because I will speak to you, and I'll speak to you about your tech skills, and your soft skills, and we'll find out whether it's going to be the right fit for both parties, really. And then when we send that pairing assessment through, I will be honest, like, sometimes, like, there is a pass mark with that, and sometimes I'll think, yeah, I've got a feeling this person is definitely at the right sort of level in order to pass that assessment. And sometimes I'm surprised and they don't. And then, sometimes it's the other way around, really. But, I can kind of, that assessment is quite good for me, really, because, don't get me wrong, like, we have a pass mark. We are lenient with it. It's not like a black and white thing to say you've got to get this and say, right, you have to get this mark to pass. But I'm trying to think if I can think of any kind of common patterns I can see, really.
Yeah, so I spoke to someone recently who said that and it's quite common with people who've done boot camps and have sort of retrained, is that they're so focused on the technical skills that they don't let their soft skills shine. So the communication skills, listening skills, and things like that. I spoke to somebody recently, and that's what they'd said to me, and I think that's quite a big thing. It's because I think a lot of the time is people who have retrained and career changers, they get so caught up on the technical aspect because they've never interviewed like that before, that they get so focused on that they don't show the best of their soft skills, which is what they've interviewed for and been successful in the past.
Yeah.
So that was just something, a tip.
No, it's a really good. No, it's a really good point, and it's funny because I was doing I did like a talk yesterday evening for another company, and there was a few different techies on there, a few different software developers, and a common theme throughout that was you think that tech is about the tech skills, but actually more often than not it's about the soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really like about the Thoughtworks interview process, is that it's designed to like pull out your different strengths at different parts of the interview. So like with the first part, you focus on the tech stuff. And then the last 2 is just interviewing, you as a person, like, sort of what makes you tick, like what are you all about? It's not as if we have like just a 1-stage interview and we're expecting to cover off both basis in that one interview. So yeah, that is a great point, Alice. And just back to the question, I guess, like with the consistencies, like I would say, yeah, like don't forget to focus on your soft skills, basically, because they are so important in tech, like especially in a consultancy. You're going to be working with clients, and being able to communicate is just so important.
Yeah, and I think as well, a lot of the tech skills and stuff like that can be taught. You're going to put them through the Thoughtworks University. You're going to teach them sort of the Thoughtworks way to work, and those soft skills are things that a lot of the time can't be taught, and they're just people's like natural ability or whatever. But cool, thank you.
No problem.
So V's asked another question as well, and I was actually thinking about this, V. If the overseas university restarts, would a remote option still exist for those? So people with families, would they still be able to do the university, but obviously not go abroad?
Oh, so I'd like to think so, yeah. I'd definitely like to think so. It's one that I can't really answer fully because we just don't know what the future of it is gonna look like. Like as of right now, it's 3 weeks, and it's all virtual. But yeah, like in a situation like that where somebody couldn't go away for those 3 weeks, like we wouldn't, absolutely, we wouldn't take the opportunity away from somebody. Like if they needed it to be virtual,
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason why we couldn't do that in the world we live in now. It'd be slightly different, but I'd personally like to think that we could definitely adapt to that and do that, for sure.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I've had 2 questions through. So could you explain a little bit more about the junior developers education plan? So do you have a technical education plan, I guess, for when they join? So are they mentored with people? Are they paired with like senior developers? Or what sort of does the coursework university entail from when you start?
Yeah, sure. So I'll explain a little bit more about essentially Thoughtworks University, or being a graduate at Thoughtworks is for the first year. So you start in the business, and then at the start of your 3rd week, that is when you join Thoughtworks University, and you have that very intensive, 3-week course, and in that time you will be given, you'll be you're put into a regional cohort with the rest of Europe, and then within that is even smaller teams where you have a personal trainer. Basically, that is your go-to person, for any questions you have for your development. And then what happens is that person will put together like your kind of report from Thoughtworks University, and then eventually that will end up with the staffing team. So when you come out of Thoughtworks University, you're placed onto what we call on the beach, and that just means that you're waiting to get staffed onto a project. Sometimes it can take a couple of weeks, sometimes it can take a couple of months. It really depends like what your skills are, and it depends, like it's all to do with timing, like what clients' projects are going live and when. But basically, your beach time is time for you to just upskill. You can learn what you want to learn. You can rehash stuff from Thoughtworks University. Make sure that you're fully up to speed. And during this time as well, we'll also find you what a big part of Thoughtworks, I mentioned it before, is cultivation. And that is basically, instead of having a line manager, you have a cultivator, and that person is somebody always more senior to you, who is responsible for your, I wouldn't say responsible, but helps you with your development. You can say, I want to learn about this, or I want to do this. Like, who can I speak to? Where can I go? And yeah, they just help you with that sort of development path, really. You get your personal development budget as well. And yeah, you can speak to them and develop in that way. So hopefully that answers the question.
Oh, great, cool. Thank you, Ryan. I don't know if anyone has any more questions. Feel free to send them over, but if not, we will just end it there for today. But Ryan is on the Manchester Code Slack channel, so if you do have any questions, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer any of those for you.
Yeah,
and you're going to be opening up for your May cohort probably within the next couple of weeks then.
Yeah, I should think so. So we've got a cohort starting at the start of May. Within that cohort, it's not just developers, it is a couple of business analysts as well, I think, or maybe one BA and one QA.
Cool.
So yeah, just I guess like places for developers might fill up quite quick. But yeah, when that is live, I can put that in the Slack channel as well.
That's great, thank you.
And yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to me, has any other questions, I just connect with me on LinkedIn or send me an email. Like, really don't mind at all.
Great.
I think
you're very helpful.
Cool. Yeah, so I've just seen a question come through about dates for applications. Helly, I would say don't worry about that too much just yet. Like, we don't really do a thing where it's like, oh, our role's open and like the role will close on this date. Yeah, we don't really do that here. So if you just want to get in contact with me, and yeah, we could have a chat directly if you're interested, and same goes to everyone else as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ryan.
No problem.
Thank you for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
No, it's fine. So like I said, any other questions, feel free to contact me. Feel free to contact Ryan. But enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Hope you have a nice one. And thank you again, Ryan.
No problem. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.